The joy of sharing. The source of true happiness lies in bringing happiness to others. Grief when shared lessens one's sorrow, and happiness when shared increases it greatly. True happiness renders men kind and sensible, and that happiness is always shared. Two men, both terminally ill, were kept in the same hospital room. The room had a single window. One man had his bed by that lone window. Once, every day for an hour, he was made to sit up on his bed to drain fluid from his lungs. The other man had to lay on his back all the time. Both of them used to spend hours conversing with each other. They talked about their families, jobs, realized and unrealized desires, dreams, and their fears. Every morning when the man by the window sat up for his treatment, he would narrate the happenings, the view he could watch out of the window. The man on the other bed waited eagerly for that 1 hour every day when he could hear all about the world and life that went on its course outside, clinging to every word that the man by the window spoke. He could visualize the park with a lovely lake that lay outside. Children sailing their small paper boats. Young couples walking arm in arm amongst the rows of flowering plants that had every color of the rainbow. The tall, majestic trees that stood all over the place. The window, it seemed, afforded a clear, panoramic view of the city's skyline. The man by the window would describe all this in exquisite detail, and the man on the far side of the room would absorb everything, with his eyes closed and mind vividly fired by the picturesque description. The man by the window would describe a marriage procession, a funeral march, a carnival passage varying the events interestingly. And the other man would listen entranced, transported to the very soul of the narration. Days, weeks and months passed. One morning when the nurse came to give them their daily baths, she couldn't rouse the man by the window. He had died peacefully in his sleep. She sighed with deep sadness and called the attendants to take away the body. When the room was restored and the bed by the window remade, the other man asked if he could be shifted near the window. The nurse was only too glad to comply. She did the needful and making sure the man was comfortable, she left him alone to attend to other patients. Eager to have the view he had so far only imagined and related to, assisted by his now deceased roommate, he painfully and slowly raised himself on one elbow to have a glimpse. There was a blank wall facing the window. Puzzled and very disappointed, he called for the nurse and asked her the reason the man had described such wonderful things that lay outside the window, when there was nothing but the brick patterns of a wall that blocked all that stood beyond.
He was blind. He could not have seen the wall itself.
She replied softly.
Perhaps he meant to bring you some happiness.